Good morning, y'all. It is Friday, April 5th, 2024. I, of course, am Hammer with Originator Success here with your daily mortgage rate update, the only place on the web where you talk to me about what's going on with rates and pricing each and every day. Remember, you can join me live 9:30 a.m. Eastern time as we host the show, coming to you from the road this morning. Not that far, though. Actually, didn't end up going to Pittsburgh, but no need to bore you with that. Anyway, if you are watching on the replay, don't forget to give me a hashtag replay in the comments. Let us know that you are here. If you're on Facebook, don't forget to smash that like button, tag a little friend, share us in the group. If you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. Remember, you can sign up for our written email lock advice, www.ratelockadvice.com. Get it to your inbox each and every weekday morning. Sign up for our text alerts at www.ratetextalerts.com if you'd like to be kept up to date on your phone with what's going on and protect your pipeline. Also, don't forget to check us out at originatorssuccess.com. Check out our elite membership where we help you to go ahead and be found on Google, get loans from Google and social media. I know that the market's tough, but this stuff's important, y'all, so check it out. So anyway, good morning, and let's go ahead and get into the good stuff here. Let's say hi to all of you that are here this morning joining me. I always appreciate all of you, my friends, especially those of you that are here every day. Let me find the chat up. Funny, all the cars are pulling in. I must be here right as the must be busy time. So good morning, Rob Stewart, Mallory Fotiatis, Deb Dickinson, Mike Tebow. Great to see you. Ron Siegel, of course. Good morning, sir. Finally Friday. TGIF. Kyle Mazikas, Randy Tico. Giddy up. Michael Love, Yasmin Martin, Brian Reed, Mike Morano. Good morning, each and all. So, okay. As you've probably already learned by now, many of you, the jobs report that came in much higher than expected. You know, we all wonder if the books are cooked, but I'll tell you, the revisions for last month were actually up, not down. Let's see if I can find the most up to date. Came in at 303,000 new jobs created versus I think it was 185,000 that was expected. 22,000 upward revision for the prior months, 2 months. That's a big deal because we figured, remember, we had been seeing revisions down. Seeing that was huge. Unemployment fell instead of being up at 3.9, fell to 3.8. I don't know why we have to break it down by race. And then you wonder why we're a country divided. I'm not going to get started on that. Job growth was led by faster hiring in healthcare, leisure, hospitality, and construction. Remember, they don't differentiate between full-time and part-time jobs either. So there's a tremendous amount of jobs created, but a lot of these jobs are part-time jobs. Also, you're going to see a lot of unemployed people in California fast food. Wonder where that's going to go. Average hourly earnings rose 0.3% from February, 4.1% from a year ago, but that is the slowest annual pace since mid-2021. The participation rate was a little bit higher, meaning what happens when they look at unemployment, they do the household survey. They call and they say, do you have a job? Are you looking for a job? So if you don't have a job, but you're not looking, you're not participating, and you're not unemployed. So the participation rate, the number of people looking for jobs increased. Treasury sank, sending the yields higher, of course. How much higher? Not really that bad. 4.39. This is below that 4.40 mark that we were at, and definitely nothing to panic about. We don't have to really freak out about this yet. And I think we're going to see this continue to go down today and go there. As far as mortgage-backed securities, they didn't like the news, of course, down 25 basis points on the day, bringing us to about 99. That was the worst level that since we saw on Monday at 99.05. Yesterday, we had pushed up to 99.22, and I had said to lock anything closing in the next 15 days that was risk averse, otherwise float everything. And I don't regret floating. I don't think we're going to have to worry about this too much. This is just a blip, and it's not nearly as bad. Look at how bad things were on Tuesday. Look at how bad they were on Wednesday. We had come all the way down with these. Look at these tails here. We'd come all the way down to these low levels down here at a low of 98.73, 98.70. We're not even anywhere near there now. So even though we've seen that negative reaction, the other thing to keep in mind when we take a look, let me refresh this so we've got the most up-to-date coming in on the CME FedWatch tool. When it comes to Fed futures, the expectation, oh, look at that. There's a tiny idea that they could hike rates, they're betting, right? But 99% expectation will be exactly the same in May. June, this is actually what has moved a little bit. We're still at about 60%, but that extra rate cut is gone. So we're about 60% expectation of a rate cut in June. That's not that far off. Yesterday, we were at 65%. So it did lose a little bit of ground, but this really isn't that bad. Again, we can question the legitimacy of the data. I don't think it really makes a big difference either way to question it. It is what it is. We can dig deeper, we can go whatever. But what does this mean for mortgage rates? It means rates are going to stay very much where they're at now. And all eyes are going to be on next Wednesday's CPI inflation report. It's not likely that we get anything earth shatteringly wonderful there either. Yesterday, the Fed speakers pushing out all the same rhetoric. Powell said nothing has materially changed. Kashkari was talking about, he said that in March he looked for 2 rate cuts for the year and that he thinks that we might not even need any rate cuts. He's definitely more hawkish than most, but markets are still betting on 3 cuts. And I think that Ron Siegel might have it dialed in where it's July, September, November. I think is that what you came up with, Ron? July, November, December. July, November, December, right? Ron said he might have to leave the market and get a job in government and healthcare. Over half the jobs are in those 2 sectors. Yeah, I try not to get too deep into politics, but there's definitely a problem that we have way, way, way too much government, and yet they're still amazingly inefficient. Mark said tons of people taking second jobs to afford everything. I agree, and I think that has a lot to do with it now. Mike said they're now only down 5 basis points. Mike, I don't know what you're looking at for that. I'm looking at the 5.5 coupon, and they're definitely still down 22 basis points. So I don't know if you're looking at MBS Highway. I'm using MBS Live. Depends on what time they stopped from yesterday, blah, blah, blah. But either way, not down that much. Jackson says, I feel like we've been losing ground since February. I asked a client to name one thing that they buy that's gotten cheaper, and they couldn't name a thing, not a single thing. Jackson, there was an article in the Wall Street Journal yesterday that I kind of referenced in yesterday's live that talked about something very similar. So anyway, y'all, I'm sitting at the side of the truck, so I'm going to wrap it up for today. Not much else that we have to talk about. As far as advice goes, I'm still floating into next week's CPI data. I don't expect to see any huge improvements, but we'll see better pricing than we see today. There's no reason to lock today. The good news is we saw things get worse and then they really leveled off. Now, there's always a chance we could start to see a sell-off, but usually it would happen by now. Hopefully we have a nice quiet day through the rest of the day. That's the only thing we got to be kind of aware of is that reprice risk is moderate. Sometimes you get some weird selling in the late morning after the jobs data comes out. Otherwise, I think we'll continue to see some recovery on today's news. I don't think that it's anything that really changes the outlook for the Fed. And at worst, we're just not going to see rates that are going to go down, but we're not really seeing them move up either. We're not talking about Fed rate hikes or anything like that. So, but yeah, Ron, you hit the nail on the head. Kashkari has a voice, but he gets the same vote as we do, not voting this year. Yeah, he's not a voting member, but he's definitely, it's funny to hear him say it. So, all right, y'all, I'm going to wrap it up. You guys have a fantastic day. Have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday. Bye-bye.